In this tutorial, we'll be looking at how to attach tool objects to the robot arm and learning how to create targets and motion paths for the arm. So we're continuing to work in the same station as the previous tutorial, and as you can see, we have the arm stationed in the middle with the TCP at the end of the arm. A tool is a form of end effector for the arm. This can be a gripper, a pen, anything that interacts with other objects. For the introductory tutorials, we'll be using a standard pen style tool, which can be found by navigating to Import Library, Equipment, and scrolling down to My Tool. As you can see, the tool is placed at the origin of the workspace. So, to attach it to the arm, we simply drag the tool to the arm here. This attaches the tool to the TCP of the arm, like so. As you can see, there is now a new TCP at the end of the tool. By using the Jog Reorient button mentioned before, you can change the orientation of the tool without moving the TCP. The next thing we're going to look at is adding targets to a work object. A work object is simply a reference system, and we define points in the workspace according to this system. The points are what we call targets. Usually, there are multiple targets defined for a work object, and the origin of the work object is at a point that can be easily defined, for example, at the corner of a table. To create a work object, you click on Other, then Create Work Object. By default, the work object created is placed in the base of the robot. We will name this work object Move Around. Now it's time to create some targets. As I said before, targets are just points in the workspace that the robot can move to. There are several ways of creating targets. The first way is to create manual targets, and to do this you click on Create Target. This will show the window on the left. The reference system is positioned at World, so the targets will be referenced to the origin of the workspace. To add points, you can simply click anywhere in the workspace. Click Create, and the targets are now created with frames attached to each target, showing the orientation of the targets. As you can see, all of the targets created have been grouped in reference to the work object Move Around. Now at this point, we don't have the required information to see if the robot TCP can effectively reach the targets that we defined. To find this out, you right-click on one of the targets and click on View Robot at Target. This should move the robot to that target. However, as you can see, nothing is happening. This is because the robot is unable to reach that position, as indicated by the warning in the output window. To fix this problem, we can try and change the orientation of the tool. To view the tool at the target, you right-click on the target and click on View Tool at Target. As you can see, the tool is positioned in the wrong direction, and clearly the robot cannot configure itself to move the tool to that orientation. So, to fix this, you click on Modify Target and Rotate. You can now rotate the tool to the correct orientation. This changes the orientation of one of the targets. However, the same issue can be seen for all of the other targets. To fix them, you simply copy the orientation of the correct target and apply this to the others by selecting all of them. Now, by clicking on the other targets, we can see if the robot reaches them. Now it's time to connect all of the targets together into one motion path for the robot to move through. To do this, you click on Empty Path. This creates a path in the Paths and Targets window. To add targets to the path, you simply drag the target to the path. This will create an instruction for the robot to move to that target. Now, as you can see, the default move instruction is set to move L. What this does is move to the defined target in a straight line. Another type of move instruction is move J. What this does is move the robot from one target to another when the movement is not in a straight line. For now, we will use move L. To eliminate any potential warnings that may occur, you must define the robot configuration for each instruction. This is because there are several ways of manipulating the robot to achieve the same tool position and orientation. RobotStudio is automatically able to configure this, and to do it, you right-click on the path, go to Configurations, and click on Auto Configuration. This should eliminate any warnings due to configuration errors. Now it's time to simulate the program we created. First, you make sure that the path is the first program that the controller runs. To do this, you right-click on the path and click on Set as Entry Point. Next, you synchronize with the robot controller. This sends all of the data that we have created to the virtual controller. Make sure you select all of the boxes and click OK. Now you simply click on the play button and watch the robot through the entire path. In the next tutorial, we will look at creating geometries and autopaths.